Good morning, everybody, and welcome to yet another Friday Tea with a Hacker. Cheers to everybody. Good morning with the tea. Oh yeah, like me some tea in the morning. We're doing the peppermint tea this morning in our black hat mug. Loving the tea. That's awesome. Woo! Yeah. Let's get this Friday started. What do you say, everybody? Super excited. Another week right behind us. We had an amazing week this week. This is our Friday morning tea with a hacker. I know that Jerry is still over there with his first things first on his stream, so we'll keep the hype level moderate for right now, or maybe we won't, and we'll make them all jealous that they're missing the hype level. Oh, there's the Simply Cyber crew. Glad to see everybody coming on over from Jerry's stream. Hope you guys had a good catch of the week's or the day's intel from my good friend Jerry. So happy Friday morning to everybody. This is the Cybersecurity channel. You can't catch us here every Friday morning for our weekly AMA stream. I don't have my script up here in front of me, so you can tell I'm kind of winging it. So I'm just going to skip right to the cool stuff. Two kind of housekeeping items. Obviously, we have moderators in chat. I want to thank my moderators personally each and every stream for their dedication. Moderators are here to keep chat free of sexist, racist, misogynistic, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior. We have a zero tolerance toxicity policy on this stream. Will not be tolerated. We're all here about the hype, about the positivity, so please keep it as such in chat. Moderators are not here, however, to stifle chat whatsoever. Moderators are here to make sure that your voices get heard. So with that being said, this is our AMA stream. We do this every Friday. We try to do it first thing in the morning so that we can encompass the largest time zone, so we can get our folks in the UK, our folks in India, our folks in Australia. I know we've got a wide range of folks who come here for the AMAs in the morning. So otherwise, you can catch us here Monday, Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our regularly scheduled broadcast as well. This is an AMA stream. We will be answering questions on stream. We highly encourage questions. I am here, sitting here, talking to you all about all things cyber. When we talk about AMA, what kind of questions can you ask? Literally anything in the entire freaking world. Ask me about my diet. Ask me about my golf game, which has suffered tremendously over the wintertime. You can ask me about I&E. However, I will say this is not an official I&E outlet, and so anything that I do say is my opinion alone. I do have a tendency to give you some cyber inside secrets and things like that. Just take it with a grain of salt, and always refer to the official I&E channels for all things I&E. Anything cybersecurity related, red team, blue team, like you name it. Literally, it's it's a grab bag. It's a grab bag worth of stuff. So we literally do talk about almost everything here on the stream. We do only have one question, one rule when it comes to questions. We ask that you only ask your question once. Just once. I've showed everybody in previous streams before, like how the questions are done. The moderators dump the questions into a huge giant pool, and then we grab them and we push them onto the screen, and they'll appear down here in this little corner, and we'll answer them here on stream. And so you can't ask them literally at any point in time about any topic, and we will do our absolute ever-loving best to cover them on our time on stream together. Usually stream for an hour or two, just depends on the level of hype from the audience, and depends on the quantity of the questions that we end up getting. So feel free to drop them in, and we will go as long as humanly possible. I don't have a heavy meeting schedule today, so I could probably stream for a little longer than usual this morning. Let's talk about Friday giveaways. Fridays are always giveaways. We give away something every single solitary Friday. We have two amazing giveaways. One from our partner, Cyber Supply Drop. We're going to be giving away two 6-month Try Hack Me vouchers from Cyber Supply Drop. And then one of your peers, the great question dictionary himself, Fasochi Actual, has donated a 12-month Try Hack Me voucher to one lucky viewer on this stream. So make sure you give hype hands in the chat for Fasochi. As annoying as his questions can be, and I say that with all due love, Fasochi, he's given back to the community with a 12-month Try Hack Me voucher. So we may give some other stuff away. I've got a ton of stuff in the giveaway bucket that we could potentially give away. It just depends on the hype level. It all depends on the hype level. I want to remind everybody that no stream would not be complete. I do, of course, have my At-Root beverage. Make sure you do get that 20% discount code. We did not get our flash discount code on Wednesday, unfortunately. Maybe I can text our rep and see if we can't get it for today, this morning. Maybe if it goes good. But if you are looking for a good energy drink, I obviously highly recommend the At-Root products. They are very, very awesome. Other than that, please hit that exclamation point partners, and please do reach out to our partners on the social media channels. They do offer various prizes and discounts for the stream. We still have Query.ai's I&E Premium sub to give away for this month. So that could still potentially happen either today or Monday. One of those two streams, we're going to see an I&E Premium sub given away. All right. I think that does it for my typical traditional intro. Brian Godfrey coming in with the clutch question. Where can I get that shirt? This shirt you can't get anymore. This is a Proof Point shirt from DEF CON, I think, or no, Black Hat. 2015 or 2016, I think. This was a Black Hat shirt from my friends at Proof Point. Proof Point. Yeah. This is from. So you can't get this one anymore. You can't get this one anymore. I tell you what, I'll text my friends from Proof Point and see if they've got any of these hanging out in the back. And see if we can't get some. But I've got to one day I may do an Instagram story where I go and I show all the hacker shirts that I've got down in the closet from all the previous cons that I've got, because Lord knows I've got quite a few of them. Quite a few of them. Glad to see Sack in chat. Sack says, it's a good idea to get into tech from different angles like back-end dev. You can get into tech or cyber from literally any angle, right? You may have seen a blow up on social media this week as people literally went fire, being like, please stop with this idea that there's only one path into tech and cyber, right? And I couldn't agree more, right? I couldn't agree more that there are so many ways to get into tech, into cyber. It's not, we talk about this frequently on stream, that, listen, it's not a one size fits all. It's not, listen, a lot of you want to come here and you want to be like, Neil, tell me the path. And David and I joke about this when David asked me this on his shows all the time, right? It's literally like what is the path? There is no the path. Like, if anybody tells you this is the path, they're either ignorant or uninformed, or they're straight out lying to you. There is no the path into cyber. There is no the path into tech. There is no the path into hacking. There is no the path into anything in this industry, right? That's how awesome, that is how awesome this career field is. And I encourage you, seriously, go watch Joel Fulton's first interview he did with us. It's Cyber Truth Bombs in the video section on YouTube. And take a look at where he comes from beginnings, right? Look at Jeff. Jeff is in sales, and he's been in sales, and he's been in tech sales. You can literally get into this from literally anywhere. And that's one of the big ones. That's one of the big ones that I love to talk about is I want everybody in this industry. I truly mean this when I say that this stream is for everybody. I do not care your background. If you've got somebody who is out there right now that you know, if you've got a friend who's like, I want to be into cyber, I want to be into tech, they need to be here. Because literally the things that we talk about is literally anybody can consume it and anybody can use it to start their journey. So little bit, tiny bit of a soapbox there. Hey Neil, I'm in Australia and I want to become a pen tester, I presume. So one, I can start. What can I start to study in Australia? Go to I&E, hit exclamation point I&E in chat. Start with the I&E starter pass. You get pen testing student for free. Listen, this isn't a plug for I&E, right? This is legitimately what I'm saying. You can get an entire course on pen testing student for free. I've advertised it for well over a year. I've advertised it since I appeared on David's channel last year. You can go get an entire course that will lead you to a certification called a Junior Penetration Tester certification. So that means that for the low price of free, you can take a course that will get you to a certification that does cost money. The certification does cost money. It does cost $200, but it is the lowest barrier to entry for anybody trying to get into pen testing. And by the way, you've got folks like Josh Mason, Alexi Ahmed, who runs Hackersploit, who are updating PTS right now for the next version of it, putting their literal decades of expertise into that content. So you need to go take PTS, because if you want to talk about the easiest way to start in pen testing, you can literally start for the low price of free by going to PTS. When are we going to do another resume LinkedIn review on stream? That is happening on Monday. Thank you very much for asking that. Monday's stream, Monday evening stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be our January LinkedIn and resume roast, AKA a very, very civil conversation and review of your LinkedIn and resume review. Let's talk about that really, really quick. To participate in Monday's resume review, wow, lots of questions coming in. I love it, man. Great questions this morning. Holy cow. I just saw this. To participate in Monday's resume review, here's what you have to do. A, you have to be a Narwhal Prime member. B, hop into Discord, hit ! Discord. There is a resume review channel in Discord. Drop your resume and your LinkedIn into that channel. What's going to happen is on Monday, and I'm going to grab a ton of root. I've got another case of root downstairs. I'm going to grab my water. I know that we have a backlog of resumes. We are going to crush through some resumes and LinkedIns on Monday. You're going to get a massive dump of LinkedIn and resume review critiques happening on Monday. It's going to be, we're going to crush it. We're going to crush it on Monday. And so I saw somebody post, somebody said, I saw somebody say, there it is right there. Purple Otter says, do you have room for more resumes? Yes. Yes. We are going to try to crush through as absolute many of these resumes as we humanly possibly can. If I got to pull an all-nighter stream to do it, we will pull an all-nighter stream to do it. Caveat, circle, fine print, depends on how exhausted I get. But we will crush through these resumes as much as possible. Here's what I will tell you as well. If you go to cyberinsecurity.tv, there is a free resource under the resources page. I want to thank Chris Frazier, who has been an immense help in helping me with the website. I know the graphics suck. We're working on trying to find somebody from Fervor who can help us with graphics. If anybody wants to help us with some bootstrap and some graphics, please reach out to Chris or myself. But thank you, Josh, for posting it in chat. Josh, hashtag worst mods on point today. You can go to that link for the resume rubric. That will literally be the exact same template that we're going to use on Monday. And so if you don't want to become a member, if you want to do your own resume review, you're more than welcome. Again, this isn't about driving memberships. This is just about, you can do it for free yourself using literally the exact same rubric. You can go and view the YouTube video content that we have on YouTube for the Ultimate Career playlist that we have on YouTube. And then, yes, you can come on stream on Monday and we will live review all of your resumes and LinkedIn's on Monday. I bring the hype for the resume review streams. Yes, J0 Zach, do the free stuff first. Listen, all you folks who are Neil, how do I get into XXX? This is a literal day and age of free content, right? Whether it's me, whether it's Jerry, whether it's, there are 101 free places for you to get content out there. Heck, Hackersploit's YouTube video or YouTube channel has got a ton of stuff. Go check out Hackersploit stuff, right? I'm so excited to have Alexi, who not only freely gives knowledge away on his YouTube channel, so it touches me in the heart because he's a man of my own vision when it comes to giving stuff away for free on his YouTube channel, but then he's putting that stuff to work for you in content in I&E to talk about how it's going to transfer your career. But yes, do the free stuff first. Before you spend a dime, before you spend a dime, go check out the free stuff. I love it. Woo! I love it. I'm like, you can like, listen, it's not that I didn't love Wednesday stream. I love talking to Joel. The Friday morning streams get me the hypest. Like my hype level is like I need an NFT for Neil in regular streams, and I need an NFT for Neil in Friday hype streams. Hey, Zenek, I saw your question. You don't have to ask it 50 times. I saw your question about the song. I was literally about to push that one next. If you ask questions more than once, I will intentionally not answer your question when you start spamming the same question in chat. I promise you, the moderators do see your question. I promise you. See, we saw your question. We saw it the other times you asked it. Please be respectful of the rules and only ask your question once. For those who are curious about the songs, there is a music sharing channel in Discord where I usually post up the songs from the intro. There's a lot of music sharing that goes on. People share music that they're listening to all the time. But if it comes from me, it is typically the music that I share in the intros to the stream. So hop onto Discord, pop into music sharing. Anything that's shared by me is usually music that is there for the intro to the streams. Good man, BSEC, glad to see you this morning. Push a question from you because I'm glad to see you. I know you've been crazy heads down busy here lately, so I just want to say I miss you. I miss hanging out with you in sub chat, and I look forward to seeing you around sometime soon. BSEC says, without getting into politics, what are your thoughts on the announcement by CISA about an imminent attack on the U.S. infrastructure due to Russian conflicts? Thank you for saying that without getting into politics. We definitely try to stay away from the politics stuff inside of this chat. I think that there is always a sense of heightened cyber aggression across the globe, period dot. I think that if you look at cyber as a force multiplier to kinetic effects, right? You can see that there is a lot of ground effects happening around the borders of Ukraine and Russia. It is only natural that cyber attacks will be used to disrupt any means of communication that can be used in advance of a ground attack, right? Think about it from a military perspective. You can read literally any military doctrine. This isn't political. You can literally read any military doctrine and see this. The number one thing that gets attacked first in an advance is the lines of communication. And because we are such a heavily digitized world, cyber attacks against telecommunications or any piece of communications infrastructure is an inevitability. Anything that can disrupt a counter-offensive will be used in a ground offensive. And so do I think CISA's announcement is out of band? Absolutely not. I think that they are announcing like, hey, we as military strategists, we know this. We know that when a ground attack is happening, there will be an attack on some infrastructure that seeks to be advantageous in a counteroffensive. And so CISA is doing their job by recommending, hey, if you're critical infrastructure, if you're telecommunications, if you're finance industry, you will probably be the target of some offensive capability because you play a role in facilitating any ally's ability to produce a counteroffensive to any ground assault in Ukraine. So hopefully that didn't lose anybody with all the military speak. I tried to keep that very strategic, above platform, non-political, but it very much is. I saw Ty come in there with the art of war. It very much is art of war. It's not political, and I think it's just CISA reminding everybody out there that's listening that there is going to be something that's going to happen. And if you are part of that communication chain, you need to be prepared for it. Cybersec Mom with the super chat. Thank you very much. Everybody throw the hype hands in the air for Cybersec Mom. Not only does she support this channel, with her graphics and with her contributions, she is the designer. She is the designer of the NFT baseball cards that we've been giving away. And I want to emphasize that we have, if you hit exclamation point NFT, you can go to our OpenSea collection. You can see that we have NFTs. We are not selling NFTs. We're not trying to be part of the fad of selling NFTs for stupid amounts of money. We literally are putting them up there for free. We are literally giving them away for free, and they literally have unlockable content that is given away for free. Case in point, we gave away one of Joel Fulton's NFTs on Wednesday, where the winner of that NFT gets a 2-hour mentorship session with Joel every quarter for all of 22, right? I have Brent's NFT that needs to be minted. Brent is also giving away NFTs with unlockable content for mentorship from Brent, who is doing Tuesday's Python study sessions. So this is how we're trying to bring contributions. So you can pew-pew on NFTs. If you're a part of this channel, you know I've been a huge proponent of it. We spend a lot of time trying to make them beneficial to the community, and so we've made a ton of utility out of the NFTs, and so I encourage you to check out our NFT portfolio. Now, you might get lucky. We've seen people, I'll tell you this right now. We saw in chat people starting to trade the NFTs, and I think that that is the coolest stuff in the entire world. I think that is the coolest thing in the entire world. These NFTs are tradable. The unlockable content is tradable. And I'd love to see more people trade the NFTs. I couldn't be prouder. And Cybersec Mom and I, we've got ideas for more NFTs. And again, these are not selling. We're not selling these NFTs. We're literally giving them away for free. But we love the utility behind these things, and we're going to continue to produce these in a utility type fashion. Any advice for threat hunting? Tons of advice for threat hunting. I would say every threat hunter should start as an incident responder. Period. Every threat hunter must start as an incident responder. Even if you're a pen tester wanting to get into threat hunting, I still think you need to sit time as a keyboard doing incident response before doing threat hunting. Now, I will recommend, this will be one of the few times that I recommend Python being added to your educational roadmap. If you're going to be a threat hunter, it is so much easier to threat hunt when you can script with Jupyter Notebooks, when you can script your queries in Splunk, when you can script your API calls in a lot of the EDR technologies. So I highly, highly encourage you to be proficient in Python if you're going to be a threat hunter. I want to get back into building the sock on the box concept that we started a year ago and kind of demonstrate for you all some of the stuff that we talk about when it comes to threat hunting. Just because I saw this and it was very, very relevant, I'm still not able to get the idea of NFTs. Go do some research on NFTs. This isn't me saying go Google it, right? But I will only explain like my view of it, right? I don't buy into these people who are selling these. I mean, more power to them if they're making $8 million on 8-bit pixels. Look at the utility of NFTs. When I talk about the utility of NFTs, there is a restaurant in New York called the Flying Fish Club. You can go find it right now. Maybe a mod can find it for the Flying Fish Club. But it is the first restaurant where membership is only available by purchasing an NFT. And so think about that. You're going to purchase an NFT, and you're going to have a wallet, right? You can kind of see on my OpenSea wallet right here, right? I've got all the NFTs here on my OpenSea wallet. That's how you can prove that you own the NFT, is because it's now on your phone. And so the only way for you to get into that club is to present that you are the actual owner of that NFT. That's one use case. Let me tell you about another use case that I think is going to be transformative. If it happens, this is speculation. I don't know if this is going to happen. This is purely speculation. Walmart is getting into NFTs. Do you realize, if anybody has ever worked in retail, if anybody has ever worked in any loss prevention, I know I see Kunran in there. I know Kunran does a lot with loss prevention stuff, right? Loss prevention is a huge net loss for most retailers. right? It is a huge net loss for most retailers. That's why prices get hiked, is because they have to compensate for gift card fraud, they have to compensate for receipt fraud, all that type of stuff. If Walmart is getting into NFTs, my speculation is that Walmart sees the value of giving you a gift card or giving you a receipt as an NFT on your phone, and the amount of money that they will save by reducing their loss prevention, by moving their gift cards and by moving their receipts over to NFTs is a huge utility boon for a company like Walmart. And so don't worry about like what the media says or what the hype is about NFTs. Start looking at the technology behind it, right? And see how people are using them for the utility purpose of it. So that's what I would encourage you to do in terms of that. What I see for it from a cyber perspective, I've seen one write-up about how people are using some version of NFTs for identity and access management. I've seen some versions of write-ups where they're talking about using blockchain for identity and talk to us about cybersecurity and the blockchain, because I do think it's an untapped place to be. Let's see here. We're already up to 3 pages of questions. I'm working through the questions. I apologize. Still running in through that. Just did that one about the resume LinkedIn review on stream. Any advice who's aiming to be a red teamer at some point in time? Thanks in advance, Rami. I mean, I think the biggest thing that you can do to prep to be a red teamer is just to continue to go down the pen testing path, right? Red teaming is about working in a team. I mean, hence the name, right? Red teaming is still at a weird spot in that, it's not widely used in job descriptions. It's not widely implemented as a function inside of an organization. There aren't a whole lot of industry definitions around what red teaming is. I would not stress so hard. Hey, I see a Cyber Lola in chat. Hi, Cyber Lola. Glad to see you. So glad to see you. I'm super proud of you. I always take that opportunity when I see you to say I'm super proud of you. I wouldn't get so hung up on focusing on a path to red teaming. What I would focus on is adding pen testing skills to your toolbox, right? Be a good web app tester, be a good social engineer, be a good network pen tester, and then use those tools to get parts of teams. Listen, the best red teams I was on was with people who had skills that complemented my own. I've said it on stream a numerous time, right? I'm not a good web app pen tester. That has never clicked in my brain. Like, I can do OWASP top 10 stuff, but a lot of the advanced web app pen testing stuff, it's just not me. And I have no problem admitting that weakness in myself. But I'm excellent at network pen testing. I'm excellent at exploit development. I'm excellent at social engineering, right? And so my best red team was me and a web app pen tester and a programmer. Right? And that right there, that's 3 people that make a red team. And the 3 of us together knew how to complement off of each other to break into any organization. And so what I would say to you is, don't focus on red teaming as like, I want to be a red teamer. Focus on what skills can I develop and hone that when I meet my awesome partners in pen testing world, that we complement each other and we make a team together that we can work together to achieve our strategic objectives on target. That's what I would say is change that mentality just a little bit when it comes to red teaming. Alexander, is that Romanian? Is that Romanian? I recognize that. I want to. If you're still in chat, let me know if that's Romanian. But that looks like a Romanian name right there. If it is, salut, mulțumesc, appreciate you showing up. Ce faci? In the meeting with David Bombal, you had a plan, or a path for going in cybersecurity that was in alpha, I think. Did you finish it? If you don't, what can you share with us about the path? I have not finished it. I do have the path. I can't show it to you right now because I don't have my stream computer hooked up to my MacBook right now. I need to get back on it. Thanks for calling me out on it. Keep me honest on it. I need to get that up on the website. Cyberella says, Neil, do you have any cons planned for this year? Y'all have heard my rant on cons. Do I have any cons planned for this year? No, not right now. Right now, I don't have any cons planned for this year. I did see that they moved RSA to June, which makes sense, right? I think it was pretty hard to get everybody with the heightened stuff that's going on with COVID. I may go to RSA. I keep telling myself that I will not be going to Black Hat or DEF CON, and then somebody always makes me go to Black Hat or DEF CON. So I always start out the year with like, no, I have no plans for any cons, but then I end up going to cons anyway. So our Romanian cousin, Neil B. Salute. So Carmen is Romanian, and so my Romanian is not fluent yet. I'm trying to become more fluent in Romanian, so I recognize the name, and I can speak a little bit of Romanian. Cybersec Mom asking about the book. The current instantation of the book is dead in the water. It may make a return. I am evaluating. So I'll talk about transparency in book writing, right? I think I mentioned this a couple streams ago, but I'll talk a little bit about what goes into writing a book for those who are not aware. So first and foremost, I was very, very transparent with this. Writing a book was a personal goal. It was one of those things that I thought I needed to do for my own ego. It's been called a vanity project. It very much is a vanity project. There is no money in writing a book, and I'm about to be fully transparent on why there's no money in writing a book. It's a pain in the ass. Straight up, it's a pain in the ass. But I wanted to do it because I thought that it meant something to me because everybody was doing it around me, right? So when Pact reached out to me, we went back and forth on a couple ideas about a book. We settled on an idea about a book. We went through the outlining process. For those who sat in sub chat with me, as I was like bashing my head on the desk to do my outline, took me 3 days to write the outline because of how much they wanted to have when it came to the outline, right? And then I got the contract. And this is where my motivation for writing a book took an utter nosedive. They were going to pay me an advance of $2,000 spread out over 6 months. And so that boiled down to a little under, somebody do math, right? That ended up being like a couple $100, right? Over every month over 6 months. And then they had estimated that it was going to take me 188 days to write the book. So when I sat down and thought about how much time I was going to put into writing a book, I was going to be like, okay, I'm going to dedicate an hour or two every night to write a book. And so when you broke down the $2,000 advance over 2 hours and 188 days to write a book, I kid you not, that boiled down to an hourly rate of $5.13 to write a book. And I took a step back and was like, holy cow. Holy cow. I didn't realize how bad the vanity project was for some authors to write a book. And then the royalties on top of it were literally only like 15% of sales. And I was just like, this is a giant waste of time. I was like, why would I dump 188 days into building content for a book when instead I could build content for my own channel? I could publish it as a blog. I could do a mini series myself on it. I could give this stuff back to the community for free. And if I gave it back to the community for free, it would still be more worth my time than allowing Pact to profit off of my knowledge and pay me a measly $5 an hour to do it. And so that for me was like, I'm done. My motivation for writing a book plummeted after that. Full transparency. I lost every motivation to write a book after that. So I'm looking for ways to get that content back out to you all, the community, in a way that just doesn't suck, right? So appreciate the question. Rand says, is the INE starter training will be enough to start signing up for HackerOne to start doing bug bounty? Yes. As a matter of fact, let me tell you a cyber secret. You don't need any training at all to go sign up for any bug bounty program. Listen, I saw somebody posted, I haven't seen that question yet come across my screen, right? But bug bounties, and I've got a short on this. Go watch the short if you need a reminder. Bug bounties are just unpaid pen test. If you sign up for a bug crowd platform, if you sign up for a bug hunting platform like HackerOne or Bugcrowd, Cobalt.io, Synac, whatever the case is, you sign those terms and conditions that say that you're doing it ethically, and as long as you're doing it on the platform and you're doing it within the scope that's been given to you, guess what that sounds like? That sounds like a pen test. You have a target, you have a scope, and you go forth and you pen test the target within the scope. Guess what that is? That's a pen test. You don't need any training. This is the biggest cyber secret for you pen testers and red teamers out there. I don't understand why this isn't talked about more. You do not need any training. You do not need any training to go to Bugcrowd or HackerOne and sign up today and start doing pen test. If you can hear my voice now or in the future, go sign up for HackerOne, go sign up for Bugcrowd, start doing pen tests today, and then run over to your LinkedIn, and I want you to put HackerOne, Bug Bounty Hunter, HackerOne, Threat Researcher, HackerOne, Penetration Tester, and start putting experience on your LinkedIn as a bug bounty hunter. It's literally mind-blowingly simple. Mind-blowingly simple. Every single one of you in every country out there can do this today and fulfill your dreams of being a pen tester. That easy. I saw a post on LinkedIn where this guy said you can't start in cybersecurity as a pen tester or in a red team because it's akin to going from baseball high school team to starting for the Yankees. That is somebody who is gatekeeping. That is somebody who is gatekeeping pen testing. That's straight up what that is. That is straight up what that is. That is somebody who is gatekeeping. You absolutely can go from anywhere. You could go from 0 to pen tester in a short amount of time. You can go from pen testing to red teaming at any point in time. I just listen to what I just got done explaining about red teaming. Red teaming is a concept. Red teaming is not a job description. Right? Red teaming is a concept. I wrote about red teaming years ago before I started at PwC. Highly encourage. I need to find the article. I think it's linked. I think it's actually linked on my LinkedIn. It's called Red Teaming Redone, and it talks about how red teaming has changed. And this was done in 2015. It talks about the difference of red teaming when I was coming up versus what it was in 2015. Red teaming is a concept. Don't listen to people like this because they are gatekeeping. You guys got lots of great questions this morning. Lots of great questions this morning. I saw one that I wanted to push immediately. This one right here. Yeah. What is your salary? I'm not going to talk about my salary on stream. If we want to have a salary conversation, I'm happy to talk about what salaries you can expect. And this isn't about transparency. This is about social media, right? This is about as soon as I say something on stream, then it gets blown up across all of social media, and it will be, listen, I've been on the bad side of getting targeted on social media because of something that I said. So this isn't about a lack of transparency. This is about me saying I'm just not going to be a target of stupid stuff. on social media by saying what my salary is on stream. But I'm happy to talk about salaries that you can expect and salaries that you should expect to be at. And so if you want to ask that question in the form of like what you can expect, happy to talk through that. Thank you so much, numbers. The number 3. Is that what that one is? Number 3. Numerator. There we go. Got that one. Enumerator. That's a cute one. I was like, I had to think about that one. Enumerator. Cybersecurity content is way more valuable than a book. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you so very much for you all's support. Cheers for the support. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know how much money I'd like to make. I don't know how much money I'd like to make. I'd like to make enough money. I'd like to make enough money to sit here and chat with you guys and girls all day. I'd love to sit here and make enough money to where I could sit here and do labs and, you know, teach you all on camera right here all day. That's how much money I'd like to make, where I could sit here and hang out with you all. That's what I would love to do. Like, nothing would make me happier than to be able to have enough to be able to sit here and just give 25 years of what's in this head to everybody who's watching me right now. That's honestly it. Like, that's how much I want. Honestly. Let's see here. Wow, we got so many good questions. So many good questions. This is a good one. I like answering this one. This is a fun one to answer right here, right? Do you really need all the social media accounts? I was listening to Jax. If you haven't checked out my friend Jax Scott, Outpost Gray, we've had her on stream. She had a branding person on yesterday that I thought was very interesting. When I talk about the socials, I talk about it from a branding perspective, right? Most of you are here because you want a job in cybersecurity. When you want a job in cybersecurity, in this day and age, you have to think about your target, right? Let's put on our hacker hat, right? Hackers love to advertise themselves as thinking like the enemy. Pen testers love to advertise themselves as thinking like the adversary, thinking like hackers. But most of you won't think like your adversary when it comes to hunting for a job. Your adversary is HR. Your adversary is the recruiting managers. Your adversary is the social community at large. Whether you like it or not, those are your adversaries. And so the idea behind social media accounts, and this is why even when I was in the military, I had a LinkedIn. When everybody was pew-pewing on social media in the military and in government, because they were like, oh no, the Chinese are targeting you. Yes, the Chinese are targeting you, but art of war, guys, art of war. When you know the adversary is targeting you, then you can control the vectors in which the adversary can get to you. I stood up my LinkedIn and I put the message on my LinkedIn that I wanted the adversary to have about me. And so take that and extrapolate that out to, do you really need to have all the social media accounts? It depends on the brand image that you need to have to be successful against your adversary. I answered a question a couple streams back where people were like, they were pew-pewing on, social media. And I was like, I gave a statistic, and I think it's on my 1,000 Connect Challenge video. Go watch the 1,000 Connect Challenge video that talks about 80% of recruiters get their candidates from LinkedIn. And so if you pew-pew on LinkedIn, guess what you're doing? You are telling 80% of the recruiters that you're not the right candidate for them. How can you be particularly serious about your job search if you're not going to cater to the 80% of the crowd that is looking for your profile, looking for you as a candidate? It's that simple. So do you really need all the social media accounts? You need the social media accounts that are pertinent to your target audience. Why do I have a TikTok? Why is there a cyber and security TikTok? A, it's fun, and B-Sec and I were going back and forth for a while we had more time over the summer doing some cool stuff on TikTok. A, right? B, because I want to engage in the folks that are coming up in cybersecurity now, and the best way to do that is on TikTok. Y'all might not like to, and listen, this is why when we had the NFT conversation, it's the exact same thing, right? You all can pew on NFTs all you want, but the younger generation who is coming up with tech right now, they're going to live, eat, sleep, and breathe NFTs and blockchain. And so you can go ahead and start being boomer about NFTs all you want. You're losing your demographic of your target audience. And so the social media thing, for you all, you need to take a look at it the same way you take a look at a system, at a domain controller, at a website, at anything like that. And you need to ask yourself, who is my target and how do I best influence my target? As you can tell, I'm also very passionate about the branding thing. I think a lot of people are failing in being successful in their job search because they're failing the brand issue. Love this one. Adrian says, what is your opinion about the incident response tabletop scenarios? Are these useful for an organization without any hands-on scenarios? I think tabletops are immensely useful. Tabletops are hands down the most useful thing that incident response teams can do. In the military, for those of you who are in the military, right, we talk about doing exercises all the time, right? When you hear on the news about North Korea getting mad because of continued exercises in South Korea, right? We exercise in the military all the time. We do training all the time. We go to the range all the time. We stand up our equipment, we tear it down all the time. We do mock deployments all the time. The reason we exercise all the time is so that it becomes second nature, so that it becomes instinctual when we have to respond to a kinetic wartime event. Tabletop exercises should be the exact same logic. You should not be doing tabletop exercises because a Big Four tells you to do it, because the insurance company tells you should do it. That's not the reason to do tabletop exercises. You should be doing tabletop exercises to stretch your muscles. Now let's talk about what that means. Sometimes as an incident responder, I could see how you hear me say this and you're like, well, Neil, I respond to incidents on a daily basis, so I'm used to that muscle memory because I respond to incidents on a daily basis. That's absolutely true. But does your manager, does your director, does the CISO, does the CFO, do the executives that are across the industry, does that manufacturing leader who has to simulate their manufacturing line going down because of ransomware, how often do they do tabletops? So you as an incident responder might be looking at tabletops like this and going, God, this is a waste of time. I do this all the time. But you need to realize that that might be your perspective, but there is an entire chain of command that you're in. There is an entire organization that you're a part of that needs to be doing tabletop exercises. And so if you're tired of doing tabletop exercises, maybe what I would suggest is that you go back to your organization and saying, we're doing so many of these tabletop exercises on our own. How do we do more tabletop exercises across the enterprise? How do we get the CFO involved? How do we get the crisis action team involved? How do we get the manufacturing leaders involved? How do we get the business leaders involved? Like, that's the conversation that you might need to be having if you're getting burnt out on tabletop exercises, is how do you expand that expertise out to other places? Now seems like a fantastic opportunity to take a pause and talk about some giveaways. Listen, couple rules on giveaways as I talk about it. First and foremost, if you are hearing my voice right now and you want to participate in the giveaway, you must be in Discord. Hit ! Discord to get in Discord. And your YouTube name must be linked to your Discord name. There's a command for that in our Discord. I'll ask one of the moderators to execute that command in Discord so you can see it. But your Discord name must match your YouTube name. We've had some scam people try to scam us out of these vouchers. It happens. We knew it would happen eventually. We tried to avoid it. And so it is now a requirement that a mod has to be able to validate that your Discord and your YouTube are linked for you to be eligible for the giveaway. Second rule about giveaways, do not hit exclamation point. Exclamation point raffle is now the most controversial thing on this stream. Exclamation point raffle is now the most controversial thing on this stream. Don't hit it before the giveaway starts, and only hit it once. I promise you, Streamlabs might be slow, and we give Streamlabs a hard time, but Streamlabs is like our uncle, right? Give it a hard time, but Streamlabs does its job, and it does its job pretty well. So, you know, when you see Streamlabs in chat tell you that it's now time to enter the giveaway, it's now time to enter the giveaway. We're going to pick 2 winners for 6-month Try Hack Me vouchers. So that giveaway should be starting in Streamlabs here pretty soon. When it comes to Streamlabs, then you can start smashing that ever-beloved giveaway button. I'm just rearranging a couple windows on my monitor right now so that I can monitor the progress of the giveaway. So we're gonna give away those two giveaways right there are care of Cyber Supply Drop. So we appreciate Cyber Supply Drop and specifically Josh Mason for that. How do we become a Narwhal member? If you go over to YouTube, you should see a membership link on there. You know, click that membership. You can pick a membership. Any and all prize money, anything else like that, any donations that we get do go directly to contributing to the giveaways, etc., that we give on stream. Full disclaimer: this is not a profit-making venture by any stretch of the imagination. I would love to do a transparency report in my spare time that I have, you know, negative hours in, so that I could show you this. But we give all money back into the community in some way, shape, or fashion for prizes and discounts. Our partners, when we bring partners on, the agreement with partners is that they do provide some form of prizes and discounts to you all. That is their price to pay for partnership. And so anything that we give away is because of those partnerships. We are a very community-driven function here, which is why I can't sit here and stream with you all day, is because I just don't make any money in doing it. This is a good one from Carrie. How can I get into the tech field without certification since I have a hard time taking tests? I don't have a degree because I suck at taking tests. Right? That's just the bottom line. Like, I don't have a degree because I suck at taking tests. I'm lucky to have the certifications I do have, and I count every grateful moment that I do have those certifications. You can get into the tech field without certifications. This is where, when we talk about the branding issue, when we talk about, you know, building your own personal profile, when we talk about building your portfolio of awesomeness, this is why it's important to do that, right? And so it is harder, Carrie, and I don't want to make it sound like it's super easy, but you have to work harder to build the portfolio of awesomeness, to showcase your skills so that it overshadows the lack of certifications. But it can be done. It absolutely, unequivocally can be done. Kayla comes through. Kayla Rose says, during your military time, did you get into the red team side by green door opportunities or cross-training? What do you suggest to current enlisted to get there? I got to, so I'll talk a little bit of military speak. I try to do the dance between military talk versus military talk, but it sounds like you're very versed with use green door opportunities, and that triggered something in my mind. So I was a 2 Echo when I went into the Air Force, right? So cryptography, network switching, technology like that, right? That was when the predominance of the cyber jobs, before it was really called cyber, was remanded to 2 Echoes or 3 Charlies on the enlisted side, right? 3 Charlies being the operators and 2 Echoes being basically the infrastructure maintainers of that, right? As Cyber Command started to develop and put official constructs around Cyber Command, I had an opportunity. I had done a shit job. I'd done a garbage job. When I landed at Herbert Field, coming back over from Germany, I ended up getting one of those terrible Air Force jobs were like, they were like, oh, cool, you're a computer nerd. We're going to send you over to the ADPE warehouse, right? Which is basically where they receive all of the IT technology for the entire base. And you're basically doing asset inventory management for the entire base. And so I had to do a garbage job for a year. And yes, sir, I did that garbage job for a year and I crushed it. As a matter of fact, I went over there and I didn't complain to a single person about doing the ADPE job. And for those who are not familiar with that role in the military, it is the garbage job of IT. Like, you are legitimately receiving every piece of IT technology that comes in. You're basically working in a warehouse, taking inventory of all the IT assets that are coming into the base, distributing them out to all of the base personnel, and keeping track, and then doing disposal of all of the IT hardware that comes out, right? And so, like, it is the garbage job of the garbage job when it comes to IT in the Air Force at the time. But I crushed it. I didn't complain about it, and I did a good job on it. So when my time was up and they sent me back to the squadron, the highest ranking enlisted person in the squadron, he's a chief master sergeant, came to me, pulled me into his office and said, Neil, I want to thank you from one enlisted member to another for not only going over there, you mentored a dozen troops that came under your purview, you transformed that organization, you modernized it, you expanded its capability, you reduced the time it took to get assets, you literally crushed that job. He said, I will literally get you any job that you want that's within my power to get you on this base. And I had been researching at the time this little tiny squadron on Herbert Field called the 39th IOS. IOS stands for Information Operations Squadron. Information operations at the time was very much centered around information warfare, which was how cyber was originally being postured. You had two parts of cyber in the early days of military cyber, right? You had information warfare, and then you had offensive cyber operations. Offensive cyber operations was harder to get to. There was really only one squadron at the time that was doing it, and it was that Green Door opportunity that you talked about, and it was in Texas, and so I would have had to PCS to Texas to get it. And so instead, I opted for the information warfare part of cybersecurity. And so I said, listen, there's this squadron called the 39th IOS that's doing information operations. They're pioneering cyber warfare and transforming 24th Air Force for cyber warfare. I want to go be a part of that squadron. And the Chief Master Sergeant looked at me and he said, Neil, you're a 2 Echo. They're only taking 3 Charlies. And I said, you asked me what I want to do. You said you can get me any job in the world. This is the job that I want. He said, okay. I got put in touch with the Chief Master Sergeant. He's still a good friend of mine. It's Paul Costanet. He's still down at Herbert Field. He's still a good friend of mine. I love the dude to death. Former intel dude. He was a Chief Master or Senior Master Sergeant at the time at the 39th. Got in touch with him. He interviewed me, looked at my history. I took a couple tests. I passed them. And he was like, come on over to the 39th. And so that's a long way of saying I just got to my entry into cyber through hard-headed persistence in getting into the organization. If you're in the enlisted now, trying to figure out how you get into that, the 1 Bravo 4 on the enlisted side, the 17 Deltas on the officer side, those are the roles that are the best in terms of getting yourself positioned into cybersecurity. And so I would highly encourage you to pursue those. And I would encourage you just through building relationships. When I talk about networking, go build your relationships with your senior enlisted folks, because the Chief Master Sergeants and the Senior Master Sergeants, the E7s, the E6s, right, that are in organizations, those are going to be the ones that are going to help you get to the roles that you want to get inside of a military organization. So hopefully that helps. I know that was a lot of military speak for a lot of folks who are not in military, but that's a little bit of how I kind of got my start in military cyber, through grit and hustle. All right, we're going to pick a winner. We're going to pick 2 winners, actually. Listen, when we go to pick this winner, when we go to pick these 2 winners, make sure you're in Discord. Make sure your Discord and your YouTube are linked. We're going to pick 2 winners. Message Josh Mason, and he will get you your codes for this. So the first winner is Ezekiel. Ezekiel, if you can hear my voice, make sure you message Josh Mason. The second winner is Oliver Bueno. Make sure you message Josh Mason. Don't anybody go anywhere, just in case we have to re-roll. And don't forget, we do have more giveaways to give away, but congratulations to our 2 winners. Please make sure that you message Josh Mason. Let's see here. Let's see. Going back to the question pool. Oh, I did that one already from Kayla. Here we go. This is another one. I've grown an interest in malware analysis, but uncertain of where to even begin. Are there any books or resources? There's a malware analysis cookbook. That's kind of how I started researching malware analysis. There are tons, like, obviously, Marcus's handle, Malware Tech Blog, I think is his Twitter handle. Obviously, following him is a great place to start when it comes to malware analysis. The biggest thing that I could say to folks who are interested in malware analysis, right, is you got to get your hands on the stuff, right? You got to start tinkering with it, right, in a safe way, in a safe fashion, right? I just saw M. Crow says they have that on the Humble Bumble right now. That's awesome. So there's a Humble Bumble out there. If you want to give the link to the Humble Bumble to one of the mods so they can post it in chat. Did you get both of them? I heard you got Ezekiel. Okay. So Ezekiel, thank you very much for responding to Josh Mason. Oliver, make sure you message Josh Mason to claim yours as well. But I would advise, like, maybe something like the malware analysis cookbook, and then following some malware hunters. But honestly, just go get your hands on stuff. Go get your hands on stuff. That's the biggest thing that I can advise, right? Go get your hands on stuff. I answered that one about the tabletops. I answered that one about malware analysis. I answered that one about not having a certification. Let's see. Man, God, I love this. What are your views on OSCP price rising, sir? Let's have a candid conversation about this, right? How many of you don't have to say it out loud, but think to yourself, how many of you have Netflix? How many of you have Hulu or an iTunes subscription or YouTube Premium, right? Almost everybody here has a subscription to something. When Netflix raises their subscription, do you complain about it? And then after you get done complaining, do you stay subscribed? Do you know why it is that you stay subscribed if you do subscribe it? You stay subscribed because you get value out of it. So what do I think about OSCP raising their prices? Everybody who makes money by selling a good or service will raise their prices. Everybody. It is an economic fact that it will happen. Right? So I don't fault offensive security for running their business. So my views on the OSCP price raise, they're running their business. Everybody has a business to run. And so what you have to ask yourself is, do you find value in it that is still commensurate, right, with the dollar figure that you are paying? That's what you have to ask yourself. If you're mad about a company raising their prices, then you're ignoring the fact that business has to make money. I tell you what, all these resources that you all love to take, let's have them offered for free. How long do you think those businesses will be in business if they offer all of their resources for free? And then if those resources go away because they can't give them away for free, what are you going to resort to? Right? It's not about the price raise. I think people get hung up and say, oh, look, they're raising the prices. They don't care about students. They don't care about their customers. No. Listen, those of you who get paychecks, hopefully some of you who are getting paychecks are getting a 2 to 3% to 7% raise to account for inflation. If you're not, you might want to consider your employer, but almost everybody should be getting some pay raise to account for inflation. Do you not think that businesses also go through inflation? Have you not been to the store to see the price increases on meat? I had my mom over the other day, and she's not as bougie as Carmen and I. She shops at like the discount grocery stores, and she was like, Neil, a pound of meat, a pound of ground beef was $18 a pound. And I was like, wow, that is insane to me. Right? That is insane to me. Everybody, and so that's almost a soapbox moment, but I want you to table your instant criticism because you're being influenced by social media that loves to poke holes in things that they haven't yet encountered, right? Again, I get back to blinders. It's easy to have blinders on and stay in your echo chamber that's like, you don't care about students. I see you over there. You don't care about your customers. You're raising the prices. They have a business to run. Decide if it's still valuable to you. If it's not valuable to you, then speak with your wallet and leave the business. Right? That's what it is. Follow up to this one, right? I don't mind them changing the price. My issue is the justification they've given. Talking about trainings is just a community service for them, and they generate minimal revenue for them. Are you calling them a liar? If you're calling them a liar, call them a liar. Right? But what you can do is you can either believe their lie, or you can believe that it's the truth. And if it's the truth, and you're calling them a liar, think about how you would feel if somebody's calling you a liar because you're like, hey, I can't afford this Netflix subscription anymore because I got to go buy beef at $19 a pound for my house. Somebody, you're a liar. Go pay that Netflix subscription. You don't got to go buy beef. Go pay this Netflix subscription. Listen, put things into perspective. Are you calling them a liar? That's your vision. That's your perspective. Otherwise, if that is the truth, then that is the cost that they have incurred to run their business. If that's not a moneymaker for them, that should tell you that that's the cost of goods sold. Look it up, it's COGS, it's cost of goods sold. Everybody who sells something has a cost of goods sold. Listen, this stream, cost of goods sold. My time. I charge for my time when people ask me for my time. I've sat here for an hour, and I've sat here, and if I were to think about what PwC charged me out when I was working for PwC, my cost of goods to PwC was $500 an hour. Right? And so if we put that in perspective, I've sat here for 1 hour at $500 an hour. Have I made $500 on this stream? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so think about it when you just put it in that perspective right there. Every business has a cost of goods sold. This one just happens to be they have to raise their prices because the cost of their goods has gone up for them to not be at a net loss for the community. And so what you're really mad about is you're mad because the price went up and you think the training should not cost anything. But in reality, it is a business and there is a business model and their cost of goods has gone up. And so, and again, I get back to, don't get so caught up in the social media hype because everybody loves to hype up, oh my God, prices are raising. They don't care about you as a student. Look at it like a business. Their cost of goods has gone up. So what do I think about it? Hey, it's a business. They made a business decision. They tried to run their business as long as they could at the price point that they got, and now they've had a business decision that they've had to make. And if you are sitting on the other side of this camera or this microphone and you think that there will be a business out there that doesn't have to go through that, you do not understand how business works. Every business will go through that. Am I still waiting for that second winner, Mr. Mason, or am I re-rolling? Okay, Thank you very much all right, thank you very much. We completed that one. We are going to go ahead and start our raffle for the second giveaway. The second giveaway that we're going to give away. This one is Kara Fasochi Actual. If Fasochi is still in chat, make sure you give a huge shout out to Fasochi. Make sure you thank him in Discord for this one. He's giving away a 12-month Try Hack Me voucher. That one should be appearing soon. Josh, I'm going to send you the code for that one so that you've got that one. Okay, that makes sense. You've already got it. Good deal. So, so we'll let that one run and we'll answer some more questions. I love the business questions, and again, I'm not here to promote or hate on OSCP, but I love to answer this from a business perspective because I do think that some of you lose focus. You get caught up. Listen, everybody gets caught up in the social media stuff, right? Everybody gets caught up in the social media stuff. If we want to talk about what goes into running a training business, right? We could talk about the cost of goods that goes into running a training business, and it is super easy to get caught up in social media. I highly encourage everybody to ignore the social media stuff and think about things from a very pragmatic and a very logical finding. How much do I expect salary as a fresher in pen testing? I can't speak to salaries across the globe. I would love to. I can say in the US, that I think a person coming out of a university with no certifications going into a cybersecurity program who happens to get ridiculously lucky to get a pen testing job out the gate should be about 65,000 US in most marketplaces. I'm not talking about outliers like San Francisco or New York. In most places, 65 to 75,000 a year. So extrapolate out from there. Yash, thank you so much for this question. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you very much for this question. Hey, Neil, how are you? I'm awesome. I'm awesome. I got the greatest community in the entirety of cybersecurity right here with me, hanging out with me this morning. I couldn't ask for a better way to start my weekend or end my week than hanging out with you all. So how am I? Thanks to you. Thanks to everybody showing up here. I'm awesome, and I couldn't be happier. Send me a shout out on social media. Get the hype flowing. Let's do some awesome stuff together. I assure you that if I had the fiscal means possible, I would sit here and I would stream my days and I would do nothing but teach you all everything that was inside of my head for 8 to 10 hours out of the day. I love it. What does it feel like working as government or military? I'll talk about it from the military perspective. The mission is awesome. There is no better feeling, and I want to remind everybody, and I've mentioned this before, I didn't find patriotism until I got into the military. I went into the military out of desperation. I needed a paycheck, right? I wasn't paying my bills, and I needed a paycheck, and so that's why I went into the military. It was just another job change for me. I was a victim of the dot-com boom in the 2000s, the dot-com bubble in the 2000s. I was a victim of the dot-com bubble in the 2000s. And so I got tired of getting laid off, and so that was when I joined. And so I didn't find patriotism until after I joined. When I joined and a lot of my first deployments weren't actually as part of the Iraq or Afghanistan, conflicts. My first deployments were actually humanitarian deployments. HUMROs, right? I remember that, HUMROs. A lot of my stuff were HUMROs. That touched me, right, in a good way, to be part of those humanitarian missions. I saw a lot of places in the world. Little tear jucky there. I saw a lot of places in the world that have it so much worse than the U.S. when people talk about, and I've criticized my brother and sister for this, I talk about them being worldly, right? Or having a lack of, world context. And so the missions that I were on and getting to be part of making a difference in people's lives was huge for me. And so even and I think that was like that being part of like some of my first deployments really kind of set the stage for me really appreciating the mission that I had volunteered to do, even though I didn't know what I was doing at the time, right? And so and even when I moved over to the offensive security side, right, and started doing cyber work and offensive work and things like that, a lot of the missions that we were doing were still I still loved the mission. I mean, when people talk about like, would you ever go back to work for the government? Would you ever go back to work for the NSA or anything like that? I would, because of the mission. I'd love to because of the mission. The money sucks, but I'd love to because of the mission, right? And so it's hard. It's a hard life. Like, I mentioned the garbage job that I had to do, right? Literally, that's the level of control that the military has over you, where it's like, it does not matter how capable you are. You show up to a job posting and they're like, cool, we need a body over here. You're going to go do this work. Let me tell you a story. I don't know if anybody in the community is aware of an individual called Matt Weeks. Matt Weeks was a brilliant lieutenant when he came through my offensive security schoolhouse back in the day. He was probably one of the smartest offensive people that I had encountered in my entire time of working in the military. Brilliant individual. We tried so hard, but he was a lieutenant. He was an officer, right? And officers have a predispositioned path that they have to achieve. Josh Mason can attest to this. He was an officer in the military, right? You're going to go be somebody's admin. You're going to be some colonel's admin. You're going to do some stupid ass administrative job, right? All this stuff. It didn't matter how brilliant he was. He got stuck doing stupid jobs for his first 3 to 4 years in the military. And he eventually got out and he went to go work for the private sector. The military lost an opportunity to have this is coming from somebody who's lived that life, who's been in it his entire life, looking at a dude being like, this is one of the smartest hackers I've ever seen in my entire life. This guy has got to go be on the front lines of what we do on U.S. Cyber Command and doing offensive cyber. And what do? They have him be some freaking admin for some colonel. Answering emails, answering phone calls, scheduling his meetings, getting him his coffee. So that's the good and the bad about what it feels like to work in the military. All right, so it looks like the raffle's over. We're going to pick the winner for this one. Remind everybody not to go anywhere just in case we have to do re-rolls. We're going to pick this for one 12-month Try Hack Me voucher donated by Fasochi Actual. Freak a Code Cola. Please message Josh Mason in Discord. Thank you so very much, Igor. Neil, looking back at your old videos, the fitness transformation you went through is amazing. Keep it. I'm still trying to kind of plateaued a little bit. Still working on it though. It is a lifestyle change. Got that one. This is a good one. I like this one from Harash. Do you think we as colleagues, community, should talk about salary in the industry with each other offline? I think most people don't often want to talk about their salary income because of stigma. We absolutely should talk about salaries, right? There's a hard conversation to have about salaries for a lot of reasons, right? There's a hard conversation to have about salaries, right? I won't mention it on stream because somebody will clip it and it'll be all over the internet, and I'll either be congratulated, criticized, used in somebody else's social media propaganda. Who the freak knows, right? Right. Which is why I won't talk about it on social media. But should we talk about it offline? Should we talk about it amongst colleagues? Absolutely. But you first have to get over yourself, right? What I would say is you have to get over your self-reflection, right? When we've been conditioned as a society to say that your success is measured in your salary. And so the stigma that we have is if Josh Mason and I talk about salary, if we allowed that stigma to persist, and I were to say I'm making X, and Josh were to be making X plus Y over me, but I'm in charge of Josh, I'm conditioned to go, well, why is Josh making more than me? He is clearly more successful for me. This is bad for me, and I need to go demand a raise from my boss so that I'm making more than Josh because I'm more important than Josh. And that mentality, that's the problem that we have in this industry, is that we're conditioned to take salary and equate it to who's better or who's worse. Social media has screwed us, right? When we see people lambasting, their successes and not their failures on social media, we're conditioned to think that we're a failure because we're not posting pictures of fancy cars. We're not posting pictures of fancy houses. We're not posting pictures sitting on the coast of Ibiza, right? And so therefore we're a failure, right? And so we first have to get out of our own way when it comes to having a salary conversation before we can get into a routine of being able to talk about salaries with each other. I'll tell you this right now, I have had an employee make more money than me. And I had to go through the hard lessons myself of going through the emotional. It's like, how dare they not pay me as much as they pay this person? And I had to realize that it was because that person, and this is what's going to sting a lot of you, that person brings more value than you do. Let that marinate for a second. You want to talk about truth bomb? Drop those truth bomb videos into chat right now. That person who is making more than you, you might have to have that conversation to yourself that says maybe they bring more value to the organization than you do. Think about that for a second. Once you can have that conversation with yourself and you can be okay objectively looking at that and saying, okay, I now know what I need to do to bring more value to the organization so that I can then get paid at that level or above, then you're ready. Then you are ready to have a salary conversation with your peers. Somebody clip that. That needs to be up on the internet. That is when I think we're ready to have salary conversations with yourself. I just see Brandon in chat. Thank you so very much for tuning in, Brandon. Again, somebody else that I'm super proud of in their journey. Make sure you do tune into Brandon on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to watch his weekly Cyber Truths stream. I did get a message from the mods that we did get the winner for the 12-month voucher, so thank you very much for messaging the mods. I do truly appreciate it. We have 3 pages of questions. We have 3 pages of questions, and I would love to sit here and answer all of them. I'm looking to see if there's a couple really, really good ones that I can end the stream on. I'm looking to see if there's a couple really, really good ones that I can pick from. Easy one right here. Do I need to learn blockchain technology and cybersecurity? This year, I'm saying yes. I'm not saying prioritize it over cloud, but I think you should start to add blockchain technology to your to your repertoire. Do you recommend Cisco's CyberOps certificate? No, I don't recommend it. Let's see what else we got here. I'm trying to go for quick answers. Do you think there's more value to be a cybersecurity professional in a startup versus a big consulting firm? Does being in a startup give you more opportunities to learn or expand your career? I think they both come with their share of advantages. If you were asking me, if you're a beginner starting out, I think you should go for a big four. I think at some point in time you should spend time in a startup, but I think that there is value in both. Your advice can be applied to all countries. I think cyber feels different from country to country. They absolutely, Alexander, differ from country to country. You should take my stuff with a grain of salt, apply it here in the US, but see if you can extrapolate them out in your country. I try to be as worldly as possible based on my experiences. I've obviously spent a ton of time in Romania. Several of the SOCs that I've stood up. I've spent 4 years building security operations teams in Romania, and so I feel like I've got a good grasp of EU and Romania. India, I have a 25% grasp on if I were to talk about it. Asia Pac, maybe about 50% grasp on, right? And so I would say maybe kind of take it with a grain of salt, apply it as such. Nate J, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Hope everybody's doing well on Happy Friday. Thanks for being here, Neil. Thank you for joining me in chat. Here's a soapbox item. What are your thoughts on our anti-work? I literally sent that over to my PR person, and I was like, how does this guy get on Fox News? And I can't get on Fox News to talk about cybersecurity stuff. Not that I'm an advocate for Fox News, but I'm just like, why? Why does this guy get a TV appearance, and I can't get a TV appearance on Fox News talking about something that's legitimately happening out there in the world? Facepalm. That's my thought on our anti-work. Looking for other ones. Oh, I love this one. Cyberilla. I'm thinking about starting vlogging my cyber journey with pros and cons, but feel like this space is already pretty filled with creators. What do you think? Main goal is to help other. This is imposter syndrome. Cyberilla and others who are thinking this, feeling this, hearing this. Listen, if you start a channel, I will be your biggest fan. I will be your biggest fan. I will be there every chance I get. I will like and subscribe. I will be your biggest fan. I think there are not enough creators in this space. Go look at the latest video I did with David. David asked me what I thought about content creation. This is a good one to talk about. This is a good one to soapbox on. If you go watch the end of David's video, but I will rehash it here for you here. I think that everybody should produce some form of content. Everybody's form of content is different. Whether you write blog posts, whether you do social media posts, whether you're cybersec mom and you do graphics, right? You convey your journey through graphic art, right? Whether you want to do videos on YouTube, whether you want to do a podcast, everybody that has that heart, that has that desire to produce content should produce content. Listen to me. This is what's going to upset people. There is no bad content. Let me say that again for those in the back. There is no bad content. If you set yourself up to say that content sucks, you shouldn't watch it, you know what you're doing? You're gatekeeping. You're gatekeeping. Don't go read that person's blog post because they've only been in the industry for a year. They don't know what they're talking about. That's gatekeeping. Right? You, Cyberilla, are going on a cyber journey. You have pros and cons that you're going to experience based on your cyber journey. And we talked about at the beginning part of this stream how there is no one journey into cybersecurity. There's 101 journeys to cybersecurity. Look, David is a 25-year network architect, CCIE, freaking magician, genius, unicorn. And you know how he started in cybersecurity? He got curious and just started poking around. We've got bankers in this channel that have spent years in the financial services industry working tellers at a bank office who are in cybersecurity. And so you, Cyberilla, have to look and you have to first come to grips with yourself and say, there's somebody out there like me. There is somebody out there who is going to walk in my shoes. They're going to be in my financial situation. They're going to be in my education situation. They're going to be in my job situation. They're going to be a single parent with kids, right? And they're going to benefit from watching you go through your journey. And guess what? Guess what? You're going to help somebody achieve their dream. You're going to help somebody achieve their dream of being in cybersecurity. Think about the impact you could have on somebody else's life because you got out of your own way, because you didn't let social media dictate what good content and bad content is. Because you didn't let social media tell you you shouldn't produce content because there's so many other creators out there. Because you didn't let social media tell you you're not going to start this venture because you're not flashing fancy cars up on social media. Right? Get out of your own way first. And so produce that content. Everybody here, produce that content. Invite me to share. Invite me to share in that joy and in that journey with you. I would love to share in that journey with you. And I want to be your biggest advocate. I want to be your biggest champion. Okay? This touches me. Like, listen, ask yourself. Joel on Wednesday had a great quote, right? He was going for his PhD and he was thinking about quitting. And he said to his wife, he said, this is hard. This is miserable. I hate it. I'm thinking about quitting. His wife said to him, okay, Joel, in a year, you can either be a PhD or you could be a quitter. What do you want to be? Think about this. I'll give you another one. I've been streaming since July of 2020. What do you think? Where would all of you be if I decided not to stream? And that's not me being egotistical. That's not me saying we've come a long way in 18 months. And I never realized that I would have the impact on the people that I have the impact on. I never could have imagined the amount of times I've cried on stream with you all, watched you all be successful, watched you all get jobs, watched you all take the teachings that we've brought on this stream and made you all successful. Like, could you imagine 18 months ago, I said, you know what? There's so many creators out there. David's got 1 million subs on YouTube. Why would I ever compete with David? Right? Could you imagine what would have happened if I'd have done that? Don't be your worst enemy. Don't be your own gatekeeper. Don't be your own roadblock. Okay? Welcome to the community. If you're new here, make sure you're in Discord. Make sure you're hanging out with us every single chance that we stream. Make sure you got those notifications turned on. Make sure you hit that exclamation point socials. You do follow us on all of our social media accounts. Listen, we got some awesome stuff coming up next in the next few weeks. Obviously, we got Monday's resume review stream. Make sure you do get your resumes in before Monday's stream. We will try to crush through as many of those as possible. We've got awesome guests lined up in February. We're also going to try to continue to expand out the content. I've got some more stuff that I'm talking through and working through on the horizon. Listen, I love all y'all. Y'all are awesome. Y'all make my day. Y'all make my week. I appreciate you. Stay awesome. Keep your head up, whether you're on the red side, whether you're on the blue side, whether you're still deciding, keep learning. And we'll see y'all on Monday.